Building a good base in Meet Your Maker is really beneficial to you. You'll be able to get yourself a lot of different currencies and have a nice base to brag about to your friends, but sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to make one than you think. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys some awesome bases that you guys can make, and we actually made one and tested it out. That's easy to make, that you guys can do right now. That'll help you out a bunch. Let's jump on into it. So here we go. Here are all of my bases. As you can see, all of my bases are champion bases. They are depleted at the moment because I haven't played in a few days. As you can see, one of them as well is a mastered base. I'll get into that in a second. This is the base that I'm going to be showing you guys how to build. I didn't want to make this video immediately because I wanted to essentially get some kills going so you guys can see. As you can see, we have 6 raid attempts with 67 raiders killed with about 11 kill ratio, which is pretty standard. That's a pretty good base to build. This base is easy to do and we'll show you how to do it. Just for, sake, you can see my other bases have a 12 kill ratio with 830 kills, a 9 kill ratio with 433 kills, and a 24 kill ratio with 1,600 kills, and finally a 20 kill ratio with almost 2,000 kills, all of these being champion bases. If you're wondering about the mastered base, essentially, when you hit Prestige 10 and your base is pretty much done, and you can't Prestige anymore, this is what happens to your base. This is a way that you can't just spam your base and keep it up there forever. You have to continuously get new burial sites and make them over and over. You can make these into social bases though, so your friends can raid them, things like that. But essentially you are done with that base, and that's you, they're done, and you can make a new one. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this base. It gets about 11 kills on average, and especially to newer players, they're not really too sure how to beat it. We're not necessarily going to just make it like a whole row of corrosive blocks or anything like that. I'll quickly show you what we're going to get into. Essentially, when you walk into it, there is a ton of pistons, there's a ton of traps. It's basically a death cube, essentially. And sometimes people are able to get through it, which is fine, that's the whole point. But besides that, that's pretty much it. I'll give it one test from the start so you guys can see firsthand how difficult it is to beat. If you do know really well how to raid bases and things like that, it is not entirely too difficult to beat, but it still poses as a threat where you can get caught off guard by 1 or 2 kills here and there. So essentially, as you can see, everything kind of attacks you. It's really, really annoying, essentially. There are ways to beat it. As I said, you can kind of just run through a lot of these things, maybe even toss in. I tried tossing in to guard myself. And that's essentially how you beat the base, but an average person would take their time trying to beat every single trap and might get caught off guard, obviously, since they don't know all of the traps that we have by some things like that, and that will end up killing them. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump on in to how to make this base in-game. All right, so let's build this base. It's better if you are going up because you can set a trap on the way out. Those are always quite nice. You can build down. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. The whole point of this is to catch people, especially those who rush off guard. By doing so, you can really get them in some tricky situations. So what I'm doing, I'm just building it up one right here. So that way I can catch people off guard with a trap later on. I'll show you that in a sec. And essentially, just make sure nobody can get in any way. You don't want anybody just running through everything because that's what's happened to me. It wasn't fun. So this block right here is going to be the block that we're going to be placing that trap on. So essentially, I'm going to take a bolt trap, and what you do is you set it to second. So as someone's running out, once they get the gen mat to run out, this trap might catch them. From here, you basically do your standard thing. Since you are going to be just starting, I don't recommend building this too big. You can go a lot smaller. And all you need to do is make it about, I'd say, 5 across. And then once you have 5 across, you can set it to maybe another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 5 by 8. Just get your thing going. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. And then from here, you are going to build up your walls. Put these in the corner. And then you can space this out like so. It doesn't have to be super big. It doesn't have to be super impressive. As you prestige, you'll make it a lot better. Again, I'm showing you a quick beginner base, essentially, that will really net you some good profits. As you have seen, it has netted me some good profits. Then we're just going to build the outline of everything really quickly, like so. Bada bing, bada boom. And then in the back, we're going to place these blocks like so. Just like that. And we are pretty much done with the outline of it. We can start putting in all our stuff. I'll go one higher again. And we're basically going to be making our ceiling. You can get rid of these blocks because literally one might save you. Like one extra resource or block might be the give or take. I'm going to actually get rid of these on the side right here. Maybe get rid of these as well. So we could just actually do it like so. There we go. So yeah, we have that little kind of cubby hole, essentially. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some cubes. I'm going to place them here. So these are the holographic ones. So if somebody walks into it, they will face the dangers, which will be 2 of these fire traps. We're also going to place them on these sides. So if someone just kind of peeks in, they might get caught by the fire, not realizing. And then from there, we're just going to kind of alternate where the fire is going to go. So that way, there's always going to be fire in some location. You can also change these to bolt traps on some areas, just in case somebody tries running. Bolt traps there, bolt traps up there, maybe some bolt traps up there. That way, if anybody decides to run to the ceiling or try to get a safe spot, they'll probably get caught. From here, we're going to add some of our guards. Our guards are just going to basically be a little bit of an annoyance to anybody that's just trying to run through the base. Put them up with some armor, so that way, in case anybody does try beating them, they are going to eventually have to hit them twice. Because of that, we're also going to add some impalers on the bottom, so that way if they do try to come and knife them, they won't have a good time. Also, if you're jumping here, you can set these to have a longer detection if you want. You can also set them to hunter, to home in. I'm going to take the overshot, so that way on both of these sides, if someone does jump up here, these can kind of get them. You can set the other ones like these or something to homing if you have the necessities to doing so. Again, I'm going to try to go as cheap as I can because I don't know how much cash everybody has or how big your build limit is. Essentially, your capacity needs to be really high, but you can essentially make this in any form. Let's actually get rid of these bolt traps. I'm going to place 2 plasma cannons there just in case. And I'm also going to place 2 plasma cannons there. So as someone walks in, they're going to be faced with all these plasma cannons. They're going to be a little bit overwhelmed. What you can do, and what I like doing, is setting one thing in the middle. And this way, people sometimes think it's a safe spot. But what they really don't know is that it's not. And you can set your bolt traps on the ceiling, for example, and might catch them off guard. And what we're going to do, and my favorite thing is, before we even do that, we're going to set another bolt trap and set that for second wave. So if they're just running through this door, boom, they might get caught there, you know? But my favorite thing are the pistons. I love speedrunning bases, and there's so much people that end up speedrunning, like just zipping through bases. And essentially, people don't consider that people, you know, can do that. People don't really think that, hey, someone might just run through my entire base. And that's where these pistons come into play. You can set them to be a blockage as well if you have it unlocked, to have different timings on them, so that way they're always attacking at different times. And essentially, the goal of this is that when someone is just running around, kind of jumping, they're going to get caught in one of these pistons at some point. Some way, somehow, they're going to get caught in a piston, and those pistons are going to be their worst nightmare. We're then going to take some corrosive blocks and make Harvey's job a little bit more difficult. And we're going to place these corrosive blocks kind of in all the corners, pretty much everywhere along the route. So that way, it makes it a lot more difficult for somebody to really just skim through everything. They might fall. Now, the issue that I had that a lot of people were kind of abusing was that you could go through those corrosive blocks. So make sure they are blocked up from all angles, so nobody can just run through them the way they have ran through my blocks. That is it. That is the base. That is done and done. So when you come in, everything is kind of going at you. Make sure you run your base as well so you know what to do when, you know, someone might find something you didn't think about. Things like that. I'm gonna add in another bolt trap here, and maybe we can even do a hunter one, or not double down. I want a hunter one. Double down's nice too. I mean, they all kind of work. And now what you kind of want to do is, if you're going up or down, it doesn't really matter. You kind of want to get this in an L formation, something with really tight knit corners. And if you can get it to do that, it'll catch people off guard very, very, very easily. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. We're gonna do like this L formation here, and that way if someone just tries running through everything, you can catch them off guard with some of the traps. We are going to put this in. Bam, 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 bam. Bam. Make sure the ceiling is nice and hooked. Bam, bam, bam. And that way, anybody that just tries running through and they make it to all the way to the end over here, they're going to be met with a lot of firepower. And then from this point, I mean, depending on what your gen mat is, you can, as you proceed, make it a lot more tough. Again, the more narrow the pathways, the harder it is sometimes. If you can squeeze a lot of things in there for people to really deal with everything. And that's what we're kind of looking for here. Just more adversity for someone. And, you know, sometimes frustrations might even build and you can catch them off guard, which, I mean, hey, if it works, it works, you know? And let's see here. We are going to, I messed up my pathing here, but that's okay. We will deal with it. I'll just get rid of those. Okay, we'll do it like that. And then we'll just have it this way so Harvey can come down over here. And again, I will show you this base in action when it's fully done. I'm going to make some adjustments, maybe add some decorations, things like that. And hopefully by the time I end up posting this, we can have some replays that I can actually showcase to you guys as well. If not, I'll give you an update on it. And yeah, you just basically make sure there's no way someone can just kind of go through anything. And as they run through the base, you want to make sure that there's some traps. And pistons, again, work the best because if anybody's just running through, they will get caught by a pistol. Or piston, sorry. So yeah, piston, and make sure you're not sending them in the same direction so nobody really expects them to be there, essentially. I'll set this one with a bolt shot so that way it can kind of catch them off guard. And maybe we even have a, I don't know if it'll let us. Does that work? It does work. Nice. Yeah, so that way people might be like, oh yeah, let me just get that. Boom. And then they get caught with the bolt or the piston. Again, we're going to make sure that that is fully blocked up. So someone might just quickly run in here. And then while they're here, this piston, they might hit it. Then that bolt gets them. Things like that. As long as it's like a big doom and gloom corner, it works out pretty good. I'm actually going to change this to an impaler. That way, we can put a piston maybe on this side. Yeah, we'll put it, actually, let's put it on the top. Sometimes that catches people off guard. And we'll set that to blockage. We'll add in this one. We'll set that to unstable. Random intervals. Yeah, that's a good one. Random intervals is good too. Yeah, I didn't even realize that we could do that. You could tell I haven't really used that one in the past. And yeah, that's where it comes up pretty good. We'll put that there. Yeah, there you go. Actually, no, we'll set it. I'll keep that one there. Random intervals is huge because I didn't even realize you could do it. I've been using blockage the whole time to kind of give me those random intervals. So yeah, that way they don't really know when to go. And you can even put this on the path, which is so beneficial because now if someone's just trying to run through everything, bunch of pistons are going to be in their way. Bunch of pistons are going to be in their way. And again, you can just kind of set these anywhere that gives you space until you've kind of hit your budget. And the pistons are meant to stop people from just running through everything. And eventually you can add some big guards, some big tanks if you want to put in the way as well. Just make sure they're not standing on any of the piston ways. So I could set this guy, give him some body armor, so you kind of have to deal with him as well. Sometimes they might walk and they will see everybody, but you can kind of set their pathing as well to make sure that they're just kind of standing right there. So they're not really running anywhere too far. And that's pretty much our budget. I didn't block out the end. I will have to make some adjustments, but let's just say hypothetically this was done and ready to go. Let's take a look. And we built our base in about 11 minutes or so. So pretty much without all the mistakes and silly things, under 10 minutes. And yeah, so now you have all your pistons, which go at completely random intervals, which are so all over the place. So at first glance, a player might try to get rid of these. They'll walk up, the fire will start spreading, they'll start getting shot. So now it's a little bit overwhelming. You might start shooting some of these big sentinels to get them out the way, maybe even toss a bomb. I end up dying to that guy. Let's say I didn't, and I was okay. Well, he didn't get the memo. Okay, he really didn't get the memo. Okay, let's say I didn't. I'm just gonna wait. Yep. Any more? Might start chucking some grenades, but again, that's what the floors are for. They're there in case the grenade toss isn't super accurate, that you have to deal with that. So now a player might come up here, they try to like that, you're gonna hit with everything. You know, it's not gonna be as easy. I'll go back from the start here, because remember, a regular player won't have the luxury of respawning. So now I'm like, oh man, this is bad. So, oh, I accidentally pressed G. Let me go ahead and test it from the start. I accidentally pressed G to test the gen mat. Essentially though, again, the main part about this is that people won't be able to just speed run everything. So let's say I break this, you know, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna speed run, screw this, I'm out. Eventually, one of these traps will get you. It's gonna be really, really difficult, especially with the random intervals, to make it to the end. A lot of people might try, they might not be as fortunate. And you can see there's not really a lot of places that you can go. You might want to run up here, maybe to the top, maybe get back to the bottom. Pistons are going to be there at all times. Okay, just spamming of death. I'm going to try to make it to this side. Yep, there's a piston at the ceiling. There's that. Let's say you finally make it. There's just so much things. By the time the pistons get out the way, the bolt traps are getting you. It ain't fun. There's pistons everywhere. And to the average person, this might kill them, you know, and that's all you're really looking for. Now, let's say you do get the gen mat. I'll press G now. We got the gen mat, all right? When we're running out, as soon as we turn this corner, that piston's there, boom. If you didn't break it in time, you might get hit with that bolt trap. Let's say you finally did everything, though. For whatever reason, you're like, oh my god, the exit, the exit, the exit. This bolt trap might get you right there if you're not paying attention. Then you might be home free. As you prestige, you will add some things up here and maybe like some spike traps on these sides, so someone might try to run and still get caught by things, but that essentially is the base done and done. And you know, I'm gonna make this a little bit nicer and show you at the end. I actually didn't see this guy, you know, I think he died, so I'm gonna just get rid of him. You can replace him with a bolt trap. Why not? We'll set a bolt trap here. So this whole tiny area is just death. If you break this, like, that's coming, these pistons are coming, this piston's in the way, it's gonna be a pain in the butt. And that's all we're looking for. And then at that point, if you somehow make it to this end, you win. But as you level up your base, this is where you're gonna start fortifying, like more inside the base. So that way, if anybody does make it to the end, they are going to have a really, really difficult time getting to the end, essentially. Getting past, like, the final little hurdles. That's all we're looking for. That's all we're really looking for here. So that way, if you can just preserve getting at least one more death or something like that, it works out super, super well. I'm just going to try to block as much things as I can right here. Again, protect your gen mat. Don't let anybody just run in and steal it. And yeah, hopefully, nope, I think I'm going to have to break a couple, maybe one trap in order to get this to work. And again, you do need to have a little bit of a bigger base in order to do this. If you don't, sadly, you won't be able to get the full maximum capacity of all it is, but you still can make it work, essentially. Just prestige, try to save some cash and build a base. And trust me, like, if you have a smaller base, save up for the bigger one. It is so worth it in due time. It is so worth it. And it helps out. It helps out a lot. Try to use every ounce of your budget as well. I have a couple of extra bucks. You can put some bomb traps as well, like on these stairs. Stairs are extremely good for bomb traps. So as soon as you rock here, you can put like a bomb trap. I'm going to hit it with an impaler, maybe. Oh, we are at the capacity. So yeah, that is pretty much the base done and done. I don't necessarily have any replays for you, as I said, but I will give you an update. Maybe by the time I'm ending this video, I will have an update for you guys on how well the base did. But yeah, that is the base. Small and to the point. It'll get you enough cash to basically do what you need to do. And it's not incredibly difficult to beat if you know what you're doing. Some people won't have the luxury to really know too much about it, but it can definitely help you. Oh, there's the spike trap. Yep. As you see, and I'm just being burnt alive. Ah! This is the part that I like the best. Like when you're in here, everything tries to kill you. Let's say you finally make it here. Finally here, everything's basically trying to eat you. And yeah, there you go. The bolt trap and these pistons work good because if you get the interval to work at the right time, the bolt trap doesn't actually break the pistons. It actually goes like right after the piston is gone. And that can catch people off guard. I might move this as well because it doesn't seem like it's working. Maybe we can put it on this side right here instead and then change that. And again, you can make adjustments to your own base to make sure everything goes good. And that's what's really going to help your base. Yep. Ow. Ow. And yeah, give it a try. Let me know how it goes. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like down below. Tell me if this base is something you like. I think it's pretty simple to make. Takes you less than 10 minutes. And you do need to have some of the things leveled up. I'll make another more beginner-friendly base, but this is more of like a beginner if you have most of the things and you can work your ways towards it. I think it's a good investment to make. If you guys did enjoy it, leave a like down below. Subscribe for some more awesome content. I'll see you guys next time. Take care.